Good morning. Our hand today is going to be Jack 10 of spades. Folded to us, raise first in, and we get called by the big blind. So I think pretty simple. Hijack range looks something like this. We're going to be wider than the villain, who's playing something like this. So based on his set, he's playing 13-11. Looks pretty tight. However, when you look at the big blind, he's played about a quarter of his hands, 9 out of 37 right now. Three bet is 1 out of 27. He calls 19%. So I'm kind of looking at range like this. This is 19%. I'm gonna assume jacks plus ace king, ace queen suited kind of gets us down. That's about 4%, maybe a little bit more, I believe. We could check it. So we're at 19.2. Yep. So that's 3%, and that's probably okay. I do think this is reasonable. He's got the pocket pair, suited aces, some broadways. I think this is probably realistic for a caller. He looks a little tighter than this, but I mean, this is 19%. That's I probably would have only had like 9 or 10% if I had put what I really think his tightness is. We do have some notes on him. 3-bet ranges. We've got a call from blind 9-8 suited, so that's probably the hand here. But anyway, flop comes down king 10-3 with 2 clubs. So we have middle pair. We do have more hands in our range than villain, but this is still pretty decent spot for us. We hit top pair. We're going to hit top pair. We're going to hit medium pair. We're going to have flush draws. We're going to have straights. I think we're going to have a lot of draw hands that we can bet, and probably double barrel as well. So, if we just did flush draw, open ender, and gut shot, we're looking at 26%. And that means we could easily bet, maybe not every top pair, but most of the top pairs. I still think this is a little too low. We're not betting 100% here, but we should be betting some. So middle pairs kind of bad at betting for a little bit of value, because I do think straights and flushes are going to be calling. So if we look at like 2-card backdoor flush draws, like all of our diamonds, I think those are going to be reasonable bets to make. And then that means that possibly we could do like jacks and queens. Possibly we could do all of these. And that kind of gets us closer to it. It's a little bit of value. It's somewhat of a bluff. Again, we have jacks, so we're going to block a few queen jacks, but there's spades out there. There's clubs out there. There's pairs out there. I don't think he's folding right away. So I think if we bet something like that, I think he's probably calling all of his pocket pairs. His fold to C bet 60% out of position, 3 out of 5. That's probably somewhat reasonable. So we'll give him like straight draws, flushes, and then that kind of definitely changes up things. But I still think he's calling at least middle pair and probably even these pocket pair of less than second cards at least one time, just to see where he stands. How much are we betting? A third pot. We're betting smaller. I bet half pot. Again, I think we could go a little bit smaller, less risk, less investment on a play like this. And he does call, so let's select our hands. So we should still be ahead with our range. Queen comes out. That Queen Jack now improves. Queen 9 improves. Ace Queen improves. Jack 9 improves. Still think Jack 10's out there. 10-9's out there. Clubs out there. We improve to the diamond. That is actually interesting because for us, we would probably continue betting our flush draws. And our straights would be, these gut shots. So, that's also, we kind of have backdoor straight draw. I think we would still kind of be aggressive with those bets. I think we'd still go top pair. We can possibly kind of back off a little on some of the king with the weaker kicker, but I still think there's a lot of hands that are going to be calling here as draws, and I think we could get some value from them. I do think we should try to probably be aggressive here. So he checks, I check behind. I think this is probably a mistake. So if we go back to just all of our checking ranges here, I'm going to go ahead and X out all of these and say I've got 15% check. That really makes a weak hand. Still have middle pair. Yeah, still have some of our middle pair here with queens. It's probably a lower variance type play here, but I think we do that, and villain, has everything. Jack comes out, and it's probably just a bad run out because now any ace beats us, and I think now we're gonna just have to shut it down. Villain didn't bet, so flush didn't get there, but I do think the straights out there. Diamond, well, I should say the club didn't get there, which is the most likely flush that they're drawing to. He checks. It's on us. I think we go for value with our ace. I don't think we go for value with the low end, the 9. And we're not going to have enough balance in all of our ranges, but for our hand right here, I just think we check with 2 pair. We go to showdown. We've improved to 2 pair. We could be behind to a 9. We could be behind to an ace. And he shows 9-8. So he backed into it. He beat us. Do we have that in his range? Yeah, we do, 9-8. So it was kind of the flush. I do think we bet again. It puts more pressure on him. I think we missed that turn. We're getting value. It was just unfortunate that the run out happened as it did. Perhaps. So we're going to go back to bet sizing. I feel like flop we go a third. He calls, and then when the queen comes out, I think at this point we scale up to maybe 2/3. At this point, we could easily have ace jack here. Jack 9's a little bit harder, but it's in our range. We do have, when we think about what hands we play, I've got Jack 9. I probably would have bet that as well. I mean, that's a gut shot. So would the other player think that we have that? Don't really care. I mean, obviously I want him to think we do have it, because we want this turn card to be solid. If we have those in his range, it's more likely that he might give up on like a queen 9 or queen 8, or maybe even like a king lower kicker. So I think it messed up. Bet sizing a little on the flop, and then really checking the turn. We should have bet this. And then, yeah, I like my check behind here. I don't think we're getting any folds that we need to fold. It's not necessarily value. It's not a value bet, because if he calls, he's beating us. So I think this is a short one. I'm not going to run GTO on this one. So hopefully you have a good one and enjoyed this hand. If you do, look tomorrow for another one.